with more right here on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Bob Pompeani and Ron Cook with you. Check out Cookie's column tomorrow in the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette concerning Fleury Murray, and that debate always seems to rage on. Let's go to Mark in Greensburg. Kicks us off here right now. Hello, Mark. How are you?
Hey, great, guys. Thanks for taking my call. It's been a while. I wanted to talk about Austin Meadows. I want to talk about Austin Meadows and Polanco.
Go ahead.
Well, I know it's been a small sample size, but they've kept Meadows down in the minors. He's 23 years old. Polanco is one of the worst outfielders I've ever seen, and I know it's about money, and I know they'll keep him, but Meadows should be here. Do you agree with that?
No, it's too early to
not
say.
Yet.
You
I'm
answered
not
your own
say
question.
that.
You said short sample size, and keep this in mind. Meadows had 1 home run this year. The last 2 years have been plagued by injury and lack of production. Now, it's nice to see that he's healthy this year and that he's making, and you saw a glimpse of what he can do. I'm still waiting for Gregory Polanco, though. I'm not, the first couple of weeks of the season run, he started 5 home runs, 15 runs batted in. People were talking about him driving in 150. Now, that's obviously changed.
Right.
But, it's too early to say that. Plus, they have a big stake in him financially, so no, I'm not changing right now.
Yeah, and I mean, they're very conservative with their top players. They brought Polanco to the big leagues, a lot of pressure to bring him up. They ended up having to send him back. The same thing, go back to Pedro Alvarez. They had to send him back. They're going to send, I think, Meadows back to play every day. And then if somebody gets hurt, he'll be back. And maybe by trade deadline or at the end of the year, I see no place for him right now.
Line 2 we go. It's Jim and Shaler. Jim, welcome to the Sports Call. Go ahead.
Hey, Bob. Hey, Ron. How you guys doing tonight?
Great.
Good.
Hey,
Thanks.
this is on Pirates ownership here. Just was something we talked about earlier in the year. I asked you if they're going to raise ticket prices when Andrew McCutcheon came into town, and you said you wasn't sure. You would check into it. Well, I went to the game over there, and they did raise them up by $8 a ticket, and I didn't think that was right. I asked the people there that worked there why they did that. They said when tickets are high in demand, they raise ticket prices. They've been doing it for the past 2 years. Now, my question is for you is, when they have a team like San Diego comes into town, who's one of the worst teams in baseball, shouldn't they lower ticket prices and maybe they could get some more people to come to the games? Because what are they, 28th in attendance right now? So they try to rip the people off when good teams come into town. But when
It's
bad
called
teams
supply
come
and
into town,
demand.
You know what? That's just good business. You charge more when people want your tickets, and they're going to pay for them. And if you don't like what you have to pay for San Diego, you don't go to the game. I don't lower them. I mean, I understand why you raise them for certain games. To me, that's just good business.
That's the way it's done in a lot of different places, but I feel you're paying a little bit, but that's the way it is. And if you don't want to pay it, look at some of the prices.
You don't have to go.
Some of these playoff games, I mean, they raise them, and if people are going to buy them, they'll keep raising them until people stop buying them. Let's go to Steve in West Mifflin. Hey, Steve, how you doing?
How you doing?
What's up?
Okay, the hockey season, Las Vegas. I think the way that they set the playoffs, and they're number one. The way they set the team up wasn't right.
No, they had a stake. It was a big fee to get that franchise, and they wanted to give them an opportunity to be competitive. Now, I don't think they ever imagined this, honestly.
Bob, nobody did. No. Back in the day, after that expansion draft, what did you think? Okay.
I thought they'd be decent.
They'd be okay.
But that's
I didn't think they'd make the playoffs. No, I mean, nobody saw this coming, what they're doing.
But I thought,
and credit to them.
You have to do that today. If you're going to bring a franchise in that costs that much money, you want to have them somewhat viable, so they tried to do that.
I don't know that you want them to go into the Cup final.
Again, just like you said, nobody was saying this.
Nobody. Even after the teams were picked, nobody was saying.
Give them credit because they did.
We all thought guys like James Neal would be traded at the trade deadline because they're going to be free agents at the end of the year and try to turn over the roster to become better for next year. Well, now they may win the Cup and have to lose James Neal. That's just a remarkable story.
They got a lot of draft picks coming up, too, this coming summer because of what happened. And teams had to sort of guarantee that they would do what they were promised to do, so they threw in second-round picks. They got a ton of those coming up, and they're going to be good for a long period of time, I got to believe. Let's go to Mike in Crafton. Hey, Mike, how are you?
Hey, how you doing? First-time caller, long-time listener.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I just want to talk about the Fleury thing. Look, as far as I'm concerned about the Fleury, they were building for the future, holding on to Murray. Because they're supposed to go for what's going on today. They're supposed to want to win the Cup today. Last year, when they was in the playoffs and going to the Stanley Cup, Fleury they did him wrong by when he carried them all through the playoffs, and then in the finals, they didn't even put them in one game. You know what I mean? You're supposed to. It's ain't building for the future. They were supposed to keep them to go for what they wanted.
Again, it was a decision that if they did not, here's an.
How was it a wrong decision last year when Murray wins them the Cup? Pitches shutouts in games 5 and 6 in Nashville. Was not the wrong decision.
Let me ask you this, Ron. If there was no expansion draft, okay, there was no Vegas coming into the league, and Fleury, at some point something had to give regardless.
Right.
Even if there's no
because Fleury
expansion.
wanted out.
Right.
He wasn't
wants
happy.
to be a starter. So,
right.
All right, then you would have made a trade. Now, there are some people who would argue that they should have traded him before and not dealt with Vegas in this capacity.
Yeah, but they might not have won the Cup without him last year.
I understand.
He won the first two series. I have no problem with the way it played out. Yeah, Fleury's been spectacular this year. I've heard people say, well, if they'd have kept him, they'd have won the Cup. They'd be competing for the Cup this year. I don't believe that. Different circumstances. He's a driven player. We'll never know for sure what he would have done if he'd have stayed here. But you keep a 23-year-old versus the 32-year-old, a guy making $2 million less under the cap. You keep the younger guy.
Here's the other thing I saw, too. I saw a Vegas team that is really defensively very much together in front of him. I think the Penguins, the way they played this year, and they had so many breakdowns, odd man breaks the other way, sometimes you put the goalie out to dry. Fleury hasn't faced a whole bunch of that. He's faced some good shots, but not 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s on a regular basis. I think the Penguins story of this year partly was that. Too many of those given up. We got to go to a break. I want to remind you the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call is brought to you by Ireland Contracting, Pittsburgh's #1 home exterior expert in roofing, siding, windows, and gutters. And we'll be back with more of your calls right after this.